Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, dear students. Welcome back to the second part of this particular lecture, which deals with the Indian foreign policy, Indian defense policy, India's economy, India's position in South Asia, and how India is, connected with the rest of the world. So previously we talked about all these things, and now we'll move towards India's defense and strategic alliances with major powers. And in this regard, India is well connected with the major powers like United States of America, Russia, Europe, and of course with Israel. So with these countries, India is in deep-rooted strategic ties, and they are, equipping themselves with modern weapon and equipment in modern times. So let's quickly analyze the Indian strategic and of course its defense alliances with other major powers. So India is, buying Rafale aircraft from European countries, France, for example, and this particular aircraft is quite good when it comes to the South Asian strategic environment. It has a speed of about 1900 kilometers, and it can go for as a distance for 1800 kilometers, and it can carry conventional and nuclear warheads, which makes it very important, very significant induction in the Indian Air Force. So Indian Air Force has been struggling in the past, and recently they were hammered by Pakistan after Balakot's, bogus surgical strike. So after that surgical strike, the Indian Prime Minister he said in a statement in a public gathering that काश के रफेल होता तो जंग का नतीजा कुछ और होता. But now India is adding these aircraft, and by 2023 they will get all the 36 aircraft from France, and this is quite good aircraft, but it is not going to change any, bring any major change in the region, because at the same time Pakistan is also well equipped with JF Thunder and a bunch of F-16s. So in India-Pakistan context, if India want to have overwhelming superiority against Pakistan, it must have more than 42 squadrons. Right now, India possesses only 33 squadrons. So which means induction of these 36 aircraft, they are not going to change anything. If they carry out surgical strike with these aircraft, Pakistan has the ability to carry out surgical strike, counter surgical strike inside India. So that is not the major issue. Other than that, India is in deep collaboration with the United States of America, and they are buying, transport and logistics aircraft like C-130, Hercules, Globemaster C-17, and Chinook heavy lift helicopters. So all these capabilities are going to shore up India's transport and logistic capabilities in case of a war with Pakistan or China. So United States of America is one of the key defense, you can say, ally of the United States of India, and they are supplying good capabilities to India. India is also getting Apache helicopter, which is also considered as a flying tank in modern times. And this particular helicopter is quite good. It is good for ground. It is good for the land warfare doctrine of India, and for their army. They can carry out quick and swift attacks in support of their fast-moving tanks. And this particular helicopter can provide them close air support, and this is also a very, very important threat for the air defense of the other countries, because it flies at low level, and secondly it is also a grave danger for Pakistani tanks, for example. So such type of capabilities are very, very dangerous, and India is getting about 22 Apache helicopters currently for their air force, and they are also trying to get 11 more for their army. So these helicopters are going to help the Indian land forces in case of any quick and swift operations against Pakistan. And this particular helicopter can possess about 16 Hellfire missiles and 1200 round of ammunition, and with a range of about 8 to 12 kilometers. So which makes it a very, very lethal weapon in modern times in Pakistan, Indo-Pakistan context. So India is also, getting, network-centric warfare capabilities and electronic warfare capabilities from Israel, because Israel is very important country in modern times in this field, because they have improved their defense industry in recent times, and they have improved a lot in this domain. Okay, when we talk about network centric and electronic warfare capabilities, it means radars, modern weapon and surveillance radars, satellites, and they are connected with the connectivity with the ground forces, air force, and others. So in this regard, India got first system in 2003, and this is called LOROS, Long Range Reconnaissance and Observation System. This particular system can provide access, surveillance and reconnaissance at a range of about 16 kilometer. And this particular system is, installed on a tower, and it can provide you, it can scan an area of about 16-kilometer range, even at night. So any person, any group of people, under this range would be detected, and it is going to relay that information to the headquarter, and then they can take any effective measures to counter that particular threat. India has deployed this particular system in Kashmir, Indian held Kashmir, where they use this particular system to curb cross-border movement of the people. India is also improving its, network-centric warfare capabilities. As I told you before, network-centric warfare capabilities means that a commander sitting in a room and watching the whole war scenario on his laptop. So he's well connected with the satellites. He's well connected with their aircraft. He's well connected with their drones. He's well connected with the, fighter jets and helicopters and the ground forces. So he is actually controlling everything, sitting in a room with these capabilities. So this is called network-centric warfare capabilities, and this is the modern warfare. And India is trying to assimilate these particular capabilities in modern times. It may take time, but they are in process. So, surveillance and reconnaissance and targeting is another important aspect which is there. And India in this regard is trying to get armed UAVs from Israel. Although they have been, using these UAVs, surveillance UAVs, since 1999 from Israel, but in modern times they are aiming for armed UAVs from Israel. Why? Because in modern times you have seen that after the Balakot airstrike, when India tried to, sneak inside Pakistan, and when tried to counter Pakistani counter surgical strike, India lost 2 aircraft and of course one pilot. So it was a huge loss for them. Now, having an armed drone, you can use this for future surgical strike against Pakistan. In case it is shot down, so there is no worry because no pilot is there. So such type of capabilities in India are going to create serious challenges for Pakistan security, because India may use such type of drones in future for their targeted surgical strikes inside Pakistan. It has a range of about 7,000 kilometers, and this deal is worth about $400 million for 10 UAVs. And this particular system is highly capable, and it has the endurance time of 45 hours. So it can remain in air for 45 hours, and India can use this for surveillance, reconnaissance, and of course for targeting in wartime or before in the peacetime. Apart from that, India is also getting many other drones from Israel, which has the ability to take out targets on the ground. For example, self-destruct drones. This is called Harpy missile, and this is a self-destruct drone, and it targets the radars of the enemy. For example, it detects the frequency of a radar and self-destruct on that particular radar. So just imagine if Pakistani radars are hit by this particular aircraft, so this particular UAV, it would be a serious threat to Pakistan national security. So India is getting these type of things, and they are really dangerous. India is, if you look at the capabilities of this particular aircraft, you will get to know that how accurate is this particular aircraft. Apart from this, India is also getting the advanced version of Harpy missile,